So in this video, I want to show you how I edit my 360 mountain bike point of view videos. This is a question I get so much, it is ridiculous. So I'm going to put together a complete walkthrough tutorial on exactly how I reframe my footage. So before I jump in, this is the camera I use for my point of view mountain bike videos. This is an Insta360 X3 camera. This, in my opinion, is the best 360 action camera right now for filming the best action camera videos out there. Whatever sport you're doing, skiing, mountain biking, anything. I just think the colors, the editing process, the workflow is all so much better than any other camera brand on the market. So let's jump in and I'm going to show you what to do. First things first, I always edit my videos on a desktop. I never edit them on a phone. I just feel you can get way more intricate with your reframing on a desktop versus a phone. I just can get better results. So I edit all my videos for social media in 9x16 and for YouTube videos as well in here. So you need to go and get Insta360 Studio. You can go and get that from Insta360's website. And all I've done now is drag my files in that I want to edit. And I went out mountain biking the other day and got some videos to show you guys this. And this is basically what the screen will look like. And all I've done so far is drag my clip in here and opened it in the window. So as you'll see, we have currently, this is in 16:9 ratio. In this example, I'm going to reframe this video and pretend we're going to be using it on social media. So we're going to be posting an Instagram reel in 9x16, so a portrait style video. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to trim our clip because we're not going to use all this for an Instagram clip. So I am just going to basically skim through the timeline here and find the part of the video that I want to use. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to press Command and left bracket to start the trim, and then we're going to go to the end of my clip and trim that. So this is our working clip, about 38 seconds long. Then what we're going to do, we're going to change the ratio by clicking here. I'm going to go to 9x16, and then top right here, a couple of settings that I like to play with. So stabilization, I always keep direction lock on. Make sure the stitching as well is set to normal, because sometimes it will just divert to sticky lens guard. If you are using sticky lens guard, then obviously keep that on, but I never use sticky lens guards, so click normal. And then I always keep true audio off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set our first keyframe. So we're going to press Command and K, and you always need to set a first keyframe, which is very important. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use our mouse and trackpad to drag around where we want our field of view to look. And this is going to be different for everyone. This is just how I do this. You may want to change the field of view and the distortion slightly more. But this is basically the tools that we've got to play with. Pan angle, which basically looks around. We've got up and down. We've got rotation angle. We've got field of view, which goes in and out. And we've got distortion. Okay, now I find that a distortion of about 0.1 or 0.2 is pretty good. But have a play around with it and see what you think. And then the field of view, you want to whack right out to probably around 120, 130. This will be different for everyone though. Just be mindful of your chin up here as well. If you're using this mounted on your chest, which is what I was. And we'll deal with all this afterwards. We just want to get a good starting point. So I'm going to get my first keyframe sorted. Keyframe 1 is in. And then we're going to play the video and we're going to start reframing. Now before I do this, I'm just going to give you the premise of how this works and how you need to think about this. When you're doing keyframing, you essentially want the camera to follow the motion of your bike or whatever sport you're doing. And the way we do that with keyframing is we add a keyframe at the start and the end of every turn or every camera direction change. Okay? Now, this is an art and a science. It's more of an art than a science actually, because if you put the keyframes too close together, it will look too robotic and too unrealistic. If you put them too far apart, it'll again feel too unrealistic. This is something that you have to work with and will probably take you a couple of attempts to get right. So let's just play through this and we'll start our keyframing. So there we go, we've already got a direction change. So another keyframe. I'm just going to move that slightly. There we go. And again, I'm trying to keep my handlebars very much centered. Okay. We've got a direction change there. So keyframe. Let's just move slightly. And you want smooth motions, right? Don't go making massive changes to the angles and percent degrees, because it will look ridiculous. But this is something that you will just have to play around with to get right. And it's going to be different for everyone. I'm just going to change that there. There we go. And I'm just using... And Command and K on your keyboard is a shortcut for adding a keyframe, which is really useful. So add a keyframe, rotate, let's pan down a sec. You want to almost like try and keep the horizon in the same place. Okay, and again, this will take time. Right, let me just play this section now and show you what this looks like. I'll go to the start and show you. So it's already starting to look like we want it to. There are still some intricacies which I will sort after I've gone through this with one pass. If you notice, some of the keyframes don't quite line up with the motion of the trail, and we can sort that after. What we can do is we can zoom in on the timeline and we can pull keyframes around just to get a little bit more precise. So we're gonna move on to that step next. All right, so now what we've done, we've gone through our clip now, and we've added keyframes all the way through. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play the clip and I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm just going to play it from here. Turn the volume down a bit, just so you can see how the shot has been framed. Ignore my chin for now, we're going to sort that in a second. All I'm looking for now is that the actual reframing has worked. And it looks realistic. Okay, so there's a little bit there we need to sort. Probably need to add a keyframe here. You'll see how this changes now. Okay, I'm not so happy with that. You see, that's the thing that's probably worth teaching. When you have keyframes that are too close together, like here, you'll find that you'll get jump cuts and it will look super unrealistic. So what we can do here, see that's two close keyframes there. Watch this. So it's not realistic at all. What we can do is that we can just test and delete one of them, or you can space them further apart, but we're going to delete them in this case. And probably pull that maybe here. Just pulling keyframes around and pulling around here. Alright, let's play again. Okay, that's a bit better. Okay, that's a little bit strange. I'll probably pull it a little bit tighter. Again, this is like super personalized. Everyone's going to be different when they're editing. Okay, let's say now we're happy with how we've reframed our footage. We need to go through it now and refine it and make it a little bit better, get rid of the chin in there. You won't always get that as well. You may have other obstacles though, so it might not be a chin, it might be another part of your bike or another part of whatever you're filming, whether it's skiing, mountain biking, whatever. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the start and we're going to play this through and we're going to get rid of any obstacles in the way. So let's just cut that there. I'm just going to add it. I'm just going to change the start of this little video. So even at the start here, so I'm just using my arrows here on my keyboard, and you can see at the top of the screen, you can see the helmet and there. So probably want to, there's different ways you can do this. You can obviously move the camera so it's reframed the chin out, or you could also zoom in a little bit as well. So if we zoom in, No, I don't like that. Might be hard for you to tell. But... And again, this is quite a tedious process. You're going to have to work through your footage, maybe keyframe at a time like this. So just probably, yeah. So I'll show you now what this looks like. It's still flashing up. I'm not too happy with that. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to go through the whole video, get rid of it all, and then we're going to come back and we're going to carry on to the next step. Okay, so we've gone through our whole clip again now and done the second run, and I'm going to play it back to you now and just show you the difference. And I've got a couple of points to share with you which I've actually just learned, which is worth handing down to yourself. So as you can see, the footage is looking a lot better. There's less of my chin in the shot. It's way more refined. It's looking good. It's looking realistic. There's a couple of points though while I was editing this which I want to bring up and teach you now, which is all about keyframes and the distance between each keyframe. So if you notice here, we have a bunch of keyframes and they're all randomly spaced apart. Now, if you're riding down a trail, obviously these keyframes are never going to be exactly perfectly positioned apart. But the closer we can get to that, the smoother the motion you will get in your footage and your overall finished video. Like if we go here, where I've got some keyframes bunched together, you might see a little bit of a jump. Not too much. One thing I would also recommend doing as well, which is something that I didn't do in the first run through, you want to set your field of view and your distortion to start with, and try and keep those consistent throughout the video. Because if you start changing the field of view through your video, you're going to get this effect that's like coming in and out of the screen. And sometimes you might want that, but if you do it too much, it'll look too obvious and it'll look too unrealistic. So I have used the field of view in some of these keyframes here to actually crop into the video to get rid of my chin from the shot. That is one way to do it. You could also position the camera further down to remove this chin, so it's actually looking further down at the frame. It's all going to be personal preference, and it's something that will take you more than just one go at going through this tutorial and testing it out. So my advice would be to watch this first, have a go and implement with your videos, and then come back to this tutorial again, because I guarantee you'll pick something new up every time. So we just keep playing this video through and you can see you can get quite creative with things. That's the beauty of a 360 camera. But it took me about 20 minutes to run through this the second time. Which is kind of cool. The lighting is really good. And you see that's quite a fast bit of a... You see the fast keyframe switch right there. That is okay. A little bit of helmet in the shot there, which we could get rid of by just position the camera down slightly. Keyframe. Let's play again. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that. So once you've reframed your video, now we're going to export it. Now this is again a part which a lot of people get wrong or don't know how to do. So I'm going to show you my exporting process. So we're going to click this yellow button here, and we're going to export reframe video. Just give this a name. Let's call this test 1. Bit rate in megabytes a second. So a lot of people will just think, well, if I just bang this up as high as it'll go, it'll obviously post to Instagram or wherever at the highest quality. It doesn't work like that. And also your file size is nearly 900 megabytes for a 30-second clip, which is bonkers. So what I like to do, and what Instagram recommends, is that you upload to Instagram between about a 30 and a 40 megabyte second bitrate. So let's just go 40. And the reason for this is because Instagram actually compresses your videos anyway. So if you upload a super high quality video to Instagram, it's going to be like, whoa, we need to compress this down, reduce the file size. And that's why you'll notice that if you post a video to Instagram that has very blank colors, so it's very consistent colors like sky and the sea, on the beach, where all the colors are always fairly consistent, versus if you post a video on Instagram in the woods where all the lighting is always different, there's a lot of data being changed around all the time, you'll often find that Instagram can compress your video to a point where it looks like you've uploaded it in a really low quality setting. It's not the case. So to get over that, there's 2 tips. First tip is to make sure you export here at 40 megabytes bitrate. So that's going to give Instagram the optimal file size to work with, so it's going to compress your video less and upload at higher quality. You also want to go into your Instagram settings and you want to turn on, there's a setting in there which I will play on the screen here. There's a setting that you can turn on upload in high quality, which is automatically turned off on Instagram if you don't already turn it on. And it's obviously Instagram trying to reduce the file size and make the platform run better. But you can go and turn it on, and that will give your video the best chance of being uploaded in the highest quality. Resolution 1080 by 920, keep that the same. Frame rate, that will obviously be what you shot on your camera, so mine was 30 frames a second. Encoding format, leave that the same, and then we're going to go start export. Insta360 Studio will do the export, so we'll just let it do its thing. Okay, job done, and then we have our test file here. Ready to be posted on social media. Now what we need to do is we need to transfer this from our computer to our phone. Now if you're using an iPhone or a Mac like I am, highly recommend you just airdrop it. Don't use WhatsApp, don't use Facebook Messenger. Either use airdrop, or if you're on Android, use an email. So email it across and just maintain the highest quality possible. And what you can also do as well from here on, you can do some color corrections in another piece of software on your phone if you want to tweak the colors and how the video actually looks. But this essentially is how I reframe my mountain bike videos. Obviously every single video is different depending on where I am and what effect I want the audience to have. It's always different, but those are the principles that you should follow. I will leave a link in the description below if you haven't already got one of these cameras, which I assume you're watching this, you probably already have got one of these cameras. I hope so. Any questions as well, drop them below this video and I'll get back to you. Or reach out to me, whichever way is easiest. But that's the secret sauce. That is the secret sauce. Yeah, there is much more to learn about reframing on 360 cameras, and I'm going to do more videos on that. But hopefully this gets you started, so you can start posting and sharing better videos of your mountain biking that actually look like it felt. That's my main aim with these videos, to post videos to look like they actually felt. Hope this is useful, and we'll see you in the next video.